Welcome. In front of me, well, not yet, there we go. I have the ViewSonic X1 4K, and I'll go over unboxing. I'll have a quick look at the projector along with its features. Anyway, let's just get straight into it. Once I can actually find a, oh, there we go, a knife, so I can open it up. So this just arrived. Now it's not new projector, as in the model itself from ViewSonic. It might be the newest one that they have at the moment. I'm not sure. But like I mentioned, this projector itself came out, I think, like a year or so ago. So it's not the newest. Now, the reason I am doing the unboxing right now is because of the Prime Day deal that this basically that I got it for, and that was about just a little over $1,000 for this. So obviously, price-wise, pretty good. And because this is comparable to the X500i from BenQ, that costs 50% more, obviously, it's a fantastic bargain right here. And let me just try not to hit the microphone right there. There we go. Now, how do I want to take that out? I think I'm going to place this on the chair right now, just so I can basically take that out and put it on the table. So let's just mount that here. There we go. Now, loosely inside the box is basically everything else, so you just like grab everything and toss it right here. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to set that to the side for the moment and also get rid of the foam right here, as it is taking a bit too much space. There we go, so that's one side. And there we go. So here we have the X1 4K. Now, taking a look at it, the front, we have obviously the marking, along with what looks to be just cooling vents right here, the lens itself, and then we do have this weird little kickstand at the bottom. This is a bit weird in design. We'll see how that actually works in reality. So yeah, one thing that I have to say, because the last projector that I was taking a look at was the BenQ X500i, and that was a really good projector. One thing that I really liked was the kickstand that it had at the front, where it was just kind of like a screwing one with a quick release button that would basically make it just skip the steps on the thread. That was pretty cool. Here we don't have that, so it's looking like it might be easier to just actually just use the threaded mounts and just mount it onto the ceiling or somewhere, rather than trying to just utilize this single kickstand, as there's, by the looks of it, no other way to actually adjust this. Now, at the front, or at the top more like, we have just a little bit of crap right here. So we have this little sliding door, which reveals all the I/O that we have access to, along with the zoom and the focus wheel right here. So it's manual, obviously, and yeah, it's pretty good. And then at the back, if we flip it over, we have all the ports, and that would include things like the HDMI 2.2 for well, two different ones. We have Type-C for, I believe this is like updates and stuff like that, along with a normal USB A port. Then we got service port. I guess that will be probably for updates. And we have VGA, I believe that was the port. This one right over here, I think that's VGA. And obviously we have the audio. So this is a 3.5mm jack. And below that, we have our power supply. Along with right here, we have IR blaster. Oh, sorry for the alarm clock. Let me just kind of try to close it. There we go. So yeah, we have the IR blaster along with Kensington lock. And we, I believe, should, yep, there we go. We have another IR blaster, or a receiver more like, right here at the front. So there we go. That's basically the build one and all the I/O that we have right here. So let's set it to the side and also take a look. So in here we get paperwork along with the battery, cable. So this is the one that I will be using, the European one. And then we have, what is this? Really like a British one. Next, we have a Type-C to Type-C cable. Now this most likely will be used for just like, for instance, image transfer or just video. And then we have the remote control. Come on, there we go. Now the remote control has some lighting up that it can do, but obviously right now it has no battery, so won't be lighting up anything. Grab this. Whoa! Well, there goes the batteries. There we go. Cut them. And right off the bat, it's already lighting up. Now I'm gonna turn off the big light, which will be very annoying. Let's see, can we get rid of this as well? So you can already see it is lit up. Now it is motion sensitive, so you don't need to actually press any buttons for it to light up. Let's do a triple little light on. Nope, never mind. God, there we go. And the reason I needed to flick the light on like that is because the switch is just kind of on-off, but every time you turn it on, it swaps between like cold, warm, and both modes. So that's why, yeah, I need to do it a couple times. Now, with that being said, let's go over these specifications. And these don't really, hold back. This is, for the most part, a gaming projector. They are advertising it as one that is kind of designed for Xbox, and the colors would kind of imply this. Not the biggest fan of these colors. Just could have just made a normal black one and it would have been fine. But in any case, in terms of the specifications, this projector itself is capable of doing 4K resolution at 60 Hz, I believe. Let me quickly go through the specifications, which will be a little bit more elaborate than the page that I was looking at. So that's not necessarily the clearest. But yeah, okay, so anyway, 4K 60 on here with very minimal latency. They are, I believe, advertising it as at 16 milliseconds, I think it was, of latency. Goodness, where are the specifications for this? Would have been fantastic. I'm trying to find it on their page where it actually gives me the info about the latencies and stuff like that, but I just cannot find it right now. So I'll try to just be going over this from memory. Because of that, it won't be necessarily as accurate unless I can actually find it. So in terms of the resolutions and stuff like that, we're looking at the max resolution of 4K 60, where I believe it was 16 milliseconds latency for games, so that's decent. Then you have also 1440p at 120 Hz refresh rate, and that will cut down the latency, as well as having 1080p at 240 Hz. Now, that being said, I'm kind of not very optimistic with the 1440p resolution if it works the same way as it did on BenQ. One thing that I found very interesting that no one ever mentioned in any of the reviews was the fact that in terms of BenQ, which by all intents and purposes is almost the same exact projector, just looks different from a different company, but in terms of what they offer, they seem like they're almost the same exact thing. So 1440p on the BenQ specifically that I've tested, I haven't done anything with this yet, was technically 1080p. It was just tricking the devices to think it's 1440p, so it would it would do better anti-aliasing for games. But you can achieve the same exact result, I would say, by just doing a super resolution on your computer as an example. That's what I was using it for the most part with. But undeniably, the resolution at what supposedly was 1440p, 120, was 1080p. And if you're going to be running 1080p, you might as well just run actual 1080p and have 240 hertz refresh rate instead of the 120. Now, like I said, I don't know if this is going to be the case right here. Something tells me it will be, as this might be just a limitation of the hardware and cell, the DLP chip and stuff like that. But I will be testing it out at home and see if that is how it actually functions. Now, outside of that, we have true 4K HDR experience right here. We have LED as a source right here for the light, and we have about 60,000 hour lifespan of these LEDs. Also, in terms of the brightness, it is advertised as 2,900 LED lumens. Now, I think people might get confused. I think this is different than NZ lumens, not LED lumens, so this is a bit different. But again, it compares to the BenQ X500i, with NZ lumens being from videos that I've watched and people that actually have hardware to test it, which I don't, getting a little bit below the BenQ, but it was still just below the 2,000 NZ lumens. I think it was like 1900 or something along those lines. So yeah, still a really bright projector. Now, in terms of the inside and like Android and operating systems, I do want to point out this one specifically does not have Android TV. It comes with their own, I guess, like Android weirdness happening that allows you to install, for instance, third-party Android applications. So it does support APKs, but it doesn't come with Android TV built in, and therefore also doesn't come with things like that you'd expect from other projectors that have any kind of, smart Android stuff. So we don't have things like Netflix, Hulu's, and all that stuff. You theoretically could just sideload it all without a problem. But out of the box, it does not have it, and also the default UI for all of this, it looks just kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie. Now, that being said, as long as it works fine, I don't really care if it's just gonna look like crap or something. As long as it runs, does everything fairly snappily, that's great. Once it starts chugging while not having really any kind of benefits of Android, now that's where I would have a bigger problem. And obviously, for the most part, you probably will be using this for gaming with something like your console or computer. And for that, you probably won't be really caring about the UI of the built-in OS that comes with it for running applications, stuff like that, as you will be primarily running it off of HDMI. So none of the OS really matters to you. And in this case, obviously, what matters is the internals and the light. The brightness of it is good. The refresh rate resolution is also great. The latency, again, fantastic. And yeah, this is basically what you probably would want to substitute your TV for, to have a bigger screen while still having a fantastic gaming experience. And this is kind of why I bought it. Now, like I mentioned before, I got this one specifically just because it was on a massive sale, coming from like $1,400 or something along those lines down to like $1,000. That is a massive discount. And when it comes down to BenQ X500i, which was the other contender, that one costed almost $1,600 if I remember correctly. And on Prime Day, it didn't have any sale. So here we go. Now, like I said, I will be testing it out, see if it works well, how well it works, and how it stacks up to the BenQ, as this is what I would consider the closest kind of comparison or competition to this kind of projector. So anyway, with that being said, hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.